38 laps, 101 miles lay ahead. Let's take a look at the grid. In number 12, Steve Millen, the Lime car. On the pole alongside is from Road Racing Hurley Haywood, the powder blue machine. In row 2, Rusty Wallace from NASCAR, a medium blue car. Alongside in the yellow car, Ricky Rudd, also from NASCAR. In the third row, Steve Kinzer from the World of Outlaws in the Evans orange car. And alongside is Tommy Kendall from Road Racing, the teal car. The fourth row, NASCAR's Jeff Gordon. The car is dark blue. And Ken Schrader from NASCAR in an aqua machine. In row 5, the pink car from Road Racing is Scott Pruitt. And Dale Earnhardt from NASCAR is in the tan car. Alone in row 6, due to the absence of Al Unser Jr., is Mark Martin in the mustard car. That's going to work perfect. Yes. Then I get one more line on numbers, and if you guys got any... Yeah, you're fine now. Now you're fine.
I swear the car canvas looks red.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Does it look that way on the track?
No, not even close.
No, it's orange when you look out there. Benny, I probably will. See, then I can cue you.
You're going to work off that one?
Fine. Huh?
Work off that one?
I might. I don't know
yes.
why.
I hear you. Yes, I do.
I don't know why I feel this way.
I hear you, Debbie.
And the noise comes back. Look at that. The hunters are going on us.
Looks like it's that one camera, Paul.
That could be. That could be. So here at Talladega, 38 laps, 101 miles. Let's take a look at the lineup. The car numbers, by the way, are starting positions, not points. So on the pole is Steve Millen in the Lime car. Alongside from Road Racing 2 is Hurley Haywood, the powder blue car. Alongside in row 2, Rusty Wallace, the NASCAR's medium blue car. Row 2, outside, NASCAR's Ricky Rudd, the yellow car. In row 3, Steve Kinzer from the World of Outlaws is on the inside in the Evans orange car. Outside, Road Racing's Tommy Kendall in the teal car. In the fourth row, Jeff Gordon, the dark blue car from NASCAR, and NASCAR's Kenny Schrader in the aqua car. The fifth row, Road Racing's Scott Pruitt. The car is pink, and Dale Earnhardt in the tan car. And alone in the final row, due to the absence of Al Unser Jr., is Mark Martin. The car is mustard. So they are all set to go as they come working off the high bank here, and this can really be a telling race overall in the International Race of Champions. You ride on the front of Steve Kinzer's car, looking up through the field. Kenny Schrader's car outside, back in row number 3, and way in the back, Dale Earnhardt. We'll keep an eye on this on the first lap right after the start, because traditionally he comes right up through the field, and with Mark Martin there to help, it should be an exciting run. Safety car is off. They head down toward the tri-oval. Green flag awaits, and remember, the start-finish line is beyond the tri-oval, right at the pit exit.
See Dale Earnhardt laying back, trying to get a run on these fellows. Green is out.
Green flag flies. Steve Millen moves to the lead, but keep an eye on Earnhardt. He moves high in turn 1.
Kenny Schrader trying to go by on the outside. He and Earnhardt hooked up.
Schrader, Earnhardt, Martin now hooked up, running the high groove. Scott Pruitt comes forward a few positions and tucks in. It's still Millen in the front. Rusty Wallace comes to the inside on the backstretch.
3 abreast throughout much of the field.
And Wallace gets some help from Kinzer, and Wallace moves to the front. Here's Earnhardt's view as he starts to move up through this field. Boy, there you get a great view of the banking here at Talladega.
And Earnhardt losing positions up on the outside. They're 3 abreast right in front of them. Almost touched.
Pruitt and Schrader right side by side there as they're 3 abreast all the way through the first turn.
And Rusty Wallace will lead that lap.
Pruitt is that sandwich there. He's in the pink car between the 2 bluish cars.
Rusty Wallace hooking up with Steve Kinzer. Out in front, Ricky Rudd, that yellow car, in third place. Look at him, 3 abreast once again, sandwiching Scott Pruitt.
And there goes Mark Martin. He's going to try to make it 4 abreast. No, he backs off, wisely backs off.
And Earnhardt now tucked in ahead of Pruitt and now starts his move for the front.
Martin leading the championship, but as you can see, he's in that mustard-colored car, is now last in this race, so he's really got his work cut out for him.
The key here again, scoring those bonus points. Wallace in front, trying to pick up as many laps in the lead as he can, if not the overall win.
Kinzer running really well again. Last year, if this race feels fast to you as you're watching it, last year he won at an average speed of 186 miles an hour. This is the view of what that speed looks like from Steve Kinzer's car.
The 9 car of Rusty Wallace just ahead. Down the backstretch. There's Ricky Rudd as he closes on Wallace and around Kinzer.
Kinzer losing spots.
Also Schrader. Schrader closing in.
And he's
Gordon down to the inside.
Wow.
That's what happens when you don't have a draft.
And we see a challenge for the lead on the outside.
Here comes Ricky Rudd as he tries to move to the lead of this race. Does so right at the line, and they spread 5 wide.
Whoa!
Look at Earnhardt. Earnhardt comes down on the inside of Rudd. That's Schrader up on the outside.
Earnhardt squeezed out of the throttle just a tick.
Earnhardt trying to work down in that low groove. Will it work for him? Earnhardt gets a little help.
But it's not good enough.
Pruitt is moving into 3rd place and picking up on that 3-car draft.
Pruitt's having a sensational IndyCar season, and you sense that he comes into this race very much a potential winner, certainly in his mental attitude. He's hot.
And Earnhardt has moved back up in line because he was getting past, losing all kinds of real estate.
Well, Benny, you said it would take Dale 2 laps to get to the front, and you were dead right. Now it's a question of what he does with it.
Well, the front in this case is 5th place, which is really about halfway through the field.
Well, I mean,
normally we see Earnhardt about this point heading right up to the front.
Right, but I mean, I think he has the potential to take the lead if he chooses to.
Without any question, looking back from Kenny Schrader's car. As the field battling it out, there's Scott Pruitt.
Tommy Kendall trying to take the lead. He's on the inside and will take the lead.
The road racer, who says he's very comfortable here finally, said that he was finally being able to look down, read the gauges.
But unfortunately, he's on the inside hung, and the train will be going by on the inside unless he can get some help from Mark Martin.
You better climb up into that fast train on the high side. Again, the view from Earnhardt.
Sitting here watching them go by, they just thunder by as a group. There's no closer racing anywhere in the world than IROC.
So the first lap's already complete in the International Race of Champions, and the battle to lead this race is a walloper.
A walloper? It's out of Paul's dictionary. Walloper.
What's
Is that Mark Martin? Walloper?
No, that's Pruitt.
I don't think so.
Schrader looking back at Pruitt.
It's okay with me if you want to steal that one. Schrader looking back to Pruitt.
And Earnhardt.
Back at Talladega, the International Race of Champions, as Dale Earnhardt making a move now. Car 2 coming in, closing in on Kenny Schrader. Earnhardt, who was lacking back in 6th place, then came up to 5th, came up to battle with the leaders, moved down to the inside, couldn't hold the inside, now is up running on the high side behind Kenny Schrader.
Schrader has been the invisible man of the series so far, not winning. Of course, he didn't win in Winston Cup last year either. He finished 4th without winning any races. He's sort of invisible out there until near the finish, and then you find him running really strong.
Earnhardt tries to surge down low,
but he couldn't get anyone to go with him, and right now he's in jeopardy of going back. That line will go by, but now he's got some cars lined up behind him. They think since Earnhardt's down there, I'll go with him. Now we've got cars 2 by 2.
Earnhardt tried to force his way up in front of Wallace. Wallace instead decided to go with Jeff Gordon. Pruitt is closing down behind Earnhardt right now. Rudd is just behind Pruitt.
Jeff Gordon down on the inside now taking the lead.
And Earnhardt is going to second place. When they saw Earnhardt down there, they went with him, and Schrader all the way back to fourth spot, being challenged for that as Earnhardt took a look.
How often the other drivers key, Benny, off what Earnhardt does.
Exactly.
Earnhardt moves to the inside of Gordon with the help of Scott Pruitt. And that really helps him. They were saying that the two cars running together, especially here at Talladega, are decidedly quicker. And there's evidence of it.
And Scott Pruitt, we talked about him at the top. He looks like he is challenging for the championship. Earnhardt, though, was a tough competitor.
Rusty Wallace was telling me that the effect of drafting is much greater in these Dodge Avengers than it is in NASCAR.
Look at
the NASCAR cars do not feel the sense of air around them as acutely as these cars do.
I thought our monitors had blown up because all I could see was dark as Pruitt pulled up right behind Earnhardt.
Yeah, I think Earnhardt got the sense of Pruitt going into that corner. As Pruitt closes in, here comes Rudd now, moving to the inside.
Remember, Pruitt.
They're going by on the outside of Pruitt.
Oh, where did Rudd find another 100 horsepower for that?
Gordon comes up and tucks in behind Earnhardt, but for the moment, it is Rudd that has his nose out in front. Can he hold it all the way to the line?
Interesting, when you learn the ABCs of how drafting works in this series, you saw what happened with Rudd. He was able to shoot by, but the minute he was running by himself and hit the wind, he slowed right up. Just went the same speed as everybody else.
As they flash across the line, it is Rudd still in front, now being helped by Pruitt. Boy, Pruitt's all over the place here. He's just going to pick out any NASCAR driver that he can and go with him if he looks good.
And those two fellows have gone by Earnhardt and now have the lead.
Pruitt is a highly motivated race driver at this point. He's lying third in IROC points, running really well in IndyCar. A man whose boat has finally really come in.
Did you see Ricky Rudd wave to Earnhardt and say, line up, let's go, help me out.
Look at Pruitt, though.
Wow. Pruitt's all over the place. The back end very loose there.
Good thing he's a great race car driver, I'll tell you, because we get a mess.
Yeah, because he's right at the front. Right,
exactly.
Boy, if he loses control, look out.
Gives you some idea of how turbulent it can get alongside these cars. Now Pruitt has some help from Kenny Schrader, and the car stabilizes the minute Schrader closes right in.
You got Pruitt surrounded by NASCAR. Road racing in NASCAR.
That was your point, Benny, before the race, that there's always one guy from road racing who seems to take on the NASCAR guys, and this year it's definitely Scott Pruitt.
Keep in mind, we're looking at Pruitt this year as an IndyCar driver because that's where the effort is, but he actually earned his nomination in here based on being a road racer. Now Rudd moves to the inside of Pruitt. And Rudd's back in front, almost brushes Pruitt up to the wall.
Luckily, Pruitt eased out of the throttle enough for Ricky Rudd to get back in front.
Pruitt had a brilliant win a few years ago at Daytona in the IROC, so he is no stranger to the last lap maneuvers that it takes to win these races.
He's pushing. He literally is pushing Ricky Rudd down the straightaway.
Boy, does that look great. Scott Pruitt on the right of your screen in that pink car. Ricky Rudd leading the race on the left in the yellow.
Onto the backstretch, 11 laps complete.
There goes Pruitt trying to take the lead. Is Earnhardt going to go with him or stay with Rudd?
Earnhardt and Gordon and Schrader all stay up with Ricky Rudd.
But Pruitt's going to try to come up and close the hole, but the hole's already closed.
Can he get in here?
There's room. There's just room. It's like New York. Can you park in that slot or not?
Boy, you talk about some nerves. Look at Pruitt. Is this great? Ricky Rudd back to the front. Earnhardt's chasing him.
Pruitt is dead out there. Look at that. He's looking. He's back in. Okay, gave away 2 spots, maybe 3 in that one move.
And Schrader on the inside trying to do it alone. Now we see Kinzer trying to move down there to get hooked up with Schrader, and maybe they could go someplace. But meanwhile, these fellows on the outside in the draft will just blow by Schrader as they're doing it. There goes Rusty Wallace by.
Kinzer comes by. The view is from Schrader's car. Well, I don't think ever before we've seen the draft and the ability to hook up have quite the effect it is here today.
Boy, that was a clear-cut example. You wonder if these guys study these films the way NFL players study game films, because right there was a clear demonstration of how you can't pull out unless someone goes with you.
Now Earnhardt makes his move. Can he get to the front with it?
Well, he's got someone to go with it. He's got Jeff Gordon right there with him.
And with the help of Gordon, Dale Earnhardt now leads the round.
So that worked, where Pruitt's move did not work. Now that makes you wonder, Pruitt being the road racer couldn't get help. Jeff Gordon could.
Remembering that laps in the lead are very significant here at Talladega. Right now it's Kenny Schrader with the most, but Earnhardt has the lead. 13 laps complete as Jeff Gordon moves to the inside of Dale Earnhardt here at Talladega in the International Race of Champions. And Gordon moves to the front. Seems like everybody wants to get up here and give it a shot. And here comes Ricky Rudd.
And you see the contact between Rudd and Earnhardt as they came off the corner. We saw that blue smoke. That's when the tires rub sheet metal.
Wow. Keep an eye on Ricky Rudd now. He drops back a little bit. Perhaps a little uncertain about the car after that, but he's right back into the throttle. Closing behind Pruitt.
Benny, back in the mid-70s, you raced in IROC and won your 4th ever IROC race. Was the pace this intense, or this is incredible stuff?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was this intense because we have 11 drivers, all nose to tail. Any of them can still win this race. I think it had narrowed down to 2 or 3 cars back in the 70s when I won the IROC race.
Right. This is great stuff. I mean, here we are well into this race. They are still running as a group. All of the cars, all 11, are running right together.
And we've got some cars on the inside trying to hook up and get to the front. There's 3 of them.
And notice that Pruitt has bounced his way back into 3rd place. So he was a guy that he made a mistake, or anyway, he made a move that didn't pay off, but he's been able to work his way back up.
It's still Jeff Gordon, followed by Earnhardt and Pruitt. Ricky Rudd's dropped well back through the field. We've had 6 lead changes among the 11 drivers in just 15 laps.
Earnhardt well placed to take over the lead in the championship.
Here he's going for the lead. Scott Pruitt decides to follow Earnhardt, and they will take the lead away from Jeff Gordon, put him back to 3rd place. Now Jeff wisely moves down. He said, I want to follow these cars.
Well, there's not much, Benny, is there, the leader can do when the 2nd place man pulls out, timing it well, and takes the 3rd place guy with him.
There's nothing he can do except sit there or block him.
Still, here's the most amazing thing. They are all still together. Earnhardt and Pruitt pull out just a little bit, but all 11 are still right together on the course. A little more help from Pruitt. All right.
Into the jaws. Wow. What happens, Benny, if you do throw a block? For one thing, you scrub a little speed, right? You lose a little speed, so the whole pack catches you a bit.
Exactly. That.
Yeah.
Anytime you move on the racetrack, you do scrub a little speed.
Benny, how much has that felt up in Earnhardt's car?
Oh, it's felt.
And there it is again. Another something to feel.
I think he's touching it.
Yep.
But he wisely backs off to let Earnhardt get in the corner, because you just can't drive in the corner with someone pushing on that back end. It will make the car spin out.
Earnhardt, Pruitt, Gordon, the top 3. Wallace and Schrader are sitting back 4th and 5th.
Hi, I'm Scott Pruitt.
By the way, get out of my way. There he is again. You bet it. He's definitely hitting him. Oh.
It's like a fighter plane refueling in midair or something, isn't it? Looking for the nozzle.
And Benny, how does Earnhardt going to react to this?
Well, Earnhardt has done that all the years that he's been racing, and I think that he expects Scott Pruitt or Jeff Gordon or any of the rest of these cars to do it.
So not only expects it, but enjoys it?
I don't know that he enjoys it. I don't think anybody enjoys getting hit at 190, 95 miles an hour.
The only driver with a road racing background in the top 6 right now is Scott Pruitt.
And there we see those 8 cars have broken away from the final 3. Finally, we have 3 cars broken away from this lead draft.
Oh, look at that. That's exciting stuff. Look at Jeff Gordon jump out of line just a little bit in that dark blue car. And
Rudd, the yellow car on the inside, still trying to get back to the front.
Well, he needs some help there.
He needs help desperately. Can't find anyone as Mark Martin goes by on the inside and puts Rudd to the 8th position back at the end of the line.
But what I find amazing is Mark Martin has been back there and not really been part of this fight. So it might be that he's just drawing the wrong car. Here we are with the whole field and taking a look back to the front. Dale Earnhardt with Scott Pruitt pushing him right into the corner. So in round number 3 of the International Race of Champions, Dale Earnhardt is the leader, chased by Pruitt and Jeff Gordon. Talladega, the International Race of Champions, round number 3. Dale Earnhardt is in front. No changes at the front of the order. Scott Pruitt continues to chase and pursue. Kenny Schrader sits back in 4th place behind Jeff Gordon.
You know, when you're a rookie at this, about all you can focus on is you and the road in front of you, trying to keep control. The more experience you get, the more aware you are of the other cars around you and your instruments. You read the instruments. You see them down there in the lower right of the screen. Finally, you even watch the wind blowing and the reaction of the crowd, and you have a sense for the strategy and tactics of the whole race. That's what experience brings to a driver, that widening sense of awareness of what's around him.
The first time I made a lap at a big racetrack was in Daytona in 1965, and I looked directly over the hood. And you can't imagine how fast the road goes by at 190 miles an hour looking directly over the hood. But as Sam said, as you get experience, you open up and you start seeing a lot of things. And watch it, Pruitt, once again. Oh.
A couple of years after that first experience, Benny, I bet everything was going by in slow motion. You were going like, I just wish I had another 100 horsepower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had 100 too many, then I needed 100 more.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt, Scott Pruitt, Jeff Gordon, and Kenny Schrader. That's the top 4.
Just past the halfway point now. 20 laps complete. Earnhardt still the leader, and Pruitt still helping him every place he can.
I'll tell you what, Pruitt's car looks like it's wiggling a little bit up in the corner.
Yeah, the further he comes off the back of Earnhardt, the more unstable that car seems to be.
Now we have a line of cars on the inside trying to get to the front.
Benny, does the hitting from behind by Pruitt make Earnhardt's car feel a little unstable?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now we see Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd.
Steve Kinzer down low. Kinzer leads that group on the low side. And Ricky Rudd's decided to hook up with him.
It's cool today, so the overheating of cars is not maybe the factor that it might be later when we race at the Michigan track.
Now Martin looking for room to get in.
There's no room there. And watch Rudd's car, Jeff Gordon's car, it moves around. And folks, you're not seeing things. That car really and truly is moving around that much with Jeff Gordon behind the wheel.
Now Rudd helping Mark Martin as Martin comes alongside 2nd place Scott Pruitt. So maybe Martin was playing a tactic, trying to save tires by running back there, Benny?
No, he just got back in that position. He decided, hey, let's try to go to the front. He hooked up with some cars, Ricky Rudd, some good cars, and they're trying to catch Dale Earnhardt.
Everybody should understand these cars are being run flat out. No one is using the brakes, and the changes in position are because of the changes in airflow around them brought on by the relationship of the cars one to another.
On the backside, a real squeeze up against the wall, but no change in position of the top 4. But look at Ricky Rudd now.
Ricky Rudd goes by Mark Martin, and Martin wisely moves back up to the top of the line.
And look at savvy Tom Kendall going with Ricky Rudd. That's Kendall in that teal-looking car right behind Rudd's yellow car.
Schrader got just a little piece of the wall.
Oh, and Kendall.
And another bump off of Kendall.
Kendall wanted back in. He saw the outside line was moving faster than the one he was in, but there wasn't room, guys.
So in one lap, we've seen a couple of almost wrecks, but everybody's still with it. And Earnhardt still is the leader. You get a little glimpse to the back of the field. Shows you how tight they are. At the back there, that lime green car of Steve Millen. And Kinzer's fallen back, so he's just ahead of him.
Jeff Gordon going for the lead.
And takes it. Schrader helping him. And so the lead changes once again. Is Earnhardt going to tolerate that?
Let me just make the point. Jeff Gordon is having his 3rd IROC race. It's that level of experience which now makes a victory possible.
So the lead continues to change here in the International Race of Champions. And Jeff Gordon is back in front. Round 3 of the International Race of Champions at Talladega, and they are all right together. All 11 cars that started are just like one connected train coming off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. led by Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt sits in second place. As he moves out to try and take the lead, Scott Pruitt is that pink car, but he elects to stay with Gordon. Now Earnhardt's all alone. Not for long. Slides right up to the front.
Earnhardt just got by Gordon and drove to the top because he looked in the mirror and there's no one with him. If he'd stayed down there, he would have ended up about 10th place before he could have gotten back in line. He said, that's not for me. And watch, this is out of Earnhardt's car, the back of Earnhardt's car, as he watches Jeff Gordon.
That was a beautiful move by Earnhardt. It's tough to pull that off. He knew he had just enough momentum, and he used the banking of the track to help him just a little bit and made his mind up really quickly to pull back in before it was too late. Nice move by Dale Earnhardt. Puts him back up front. You see him on the left of the screen. He's led most of the race.
Yeah, but he's not getting any rest. If it's not Pruitt hitting him, then Jeff Gordon's going to come up and tap him. Look at them all right together there.
It's never lonely at the top in IROC racing.
Earnhardt, Gordon, Pruitt. You look back from Earnhardt. Martin is now fourth. He's suddenly become a factor here. Kendall is fifth. Rudd is sixth.
They had a multi-car accident here in practice. 3 cars were written off in a practice incident. And, you know, you hate to think about something like that happening in the race, but with them as closely bunched as this, you can imagine the consequence if anything goes wrong here.
Boy, after saying that, I do not want to be you if they touch, Sam.
No.
Chase Ignore, the head of the IROC, is going to have you big time.
That's Kenny Schrader on the inside trying to get back to the front. He had fallen back to about 9th or 10th in line. He's trying, but no one.
Oh, and he and Rudd takes a hit.
Did they get together?
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah. But it was like Rudd moved over on Schrader, kind of gratuitously, like, hey, here I am.
Kinzer and Millen down low. Boy, and they just keep swapping positions all up and down the 11, but there they all are. Earnhardt on point.
Schrader near the back now, but trying to do something about it, moving around on the road.
Boy, is this a great race. Earnhardt, Gordon, Pruitt.
And they're all trying to figure out, what can I do to beat the guy in front of me?
All the championship contenders are now well placed in the top 4 or 5.
Laps are reeling off. 28 into the record book. And no cautions to this point. And yet all of them are stuck right together.
Here we see Kinzer and Millen down on the inside trying to go to the front. There's so many cars lined up nose to tail on the high side. It's doubtful they can make it to the front.
Around here, you start thinking about your end game strategy. What exactly am I going to do on that last lap? And of course, in a situation like this where the cars are so evenly matched, there's so many variables.
Earnhardt, Gordon, Pruitt, Mark Martin now in the fight as round 3 continues. Back at Talladega, the International Race of Champions, the front of the order remains the same. Earnhardt, Gordon, Pruitt, and Martin.
If the race ended right now, then Earnhardt would seize the championship lead from Pruitt, and Mark Martin would slip from 1st to 3rd. That's if it finished right now, and it isn't going to. There's a lot of racing left.
A lot of guys thinking about what they're going to be doing at the white flag in just a few laps.
Looked like that Jeff Gordon laid back a little bit that time to get a run on Earnhardt, but he could not make the pass wisely, just pulled in behind.
A warm day, bright sun, a lot of fans with their shirts off. What's that going to be doing to tires? Track's nice and hot.
This racetrack, when it was first built in the late 60s and early 70s, they had all kinds of problems with tires here, but Goodyear developed a tire in the mid-70s. Since then, tires has not been a problem at Talladega.
Still, all of them, all 11, right together.
Jeff Gordon in the blue car made his first $1 million at the age of 19. A prodigy in racing. Won the Brickyard 400 last year. Many people believe this is the man of the future, the man who may take over Earnhardt's mantle. There he
He'd like
is.
to start today, wouldn't he, Sam?
Boy, wouldn't he ever. Well, they're running 1-2 right now. Pretty good. The King and the Pretender, let's put it that way.
And for Gordon, the future just may be now. He's looking so strong. And battling with Earnhardt. Pruitt from road racing, still very definitely in this fight. In fact, the road racers, 2 of them in the top 5, Pruitt and Kendall. Kendall runs in 5th behind Mark Martin. There's Scott Pruitt, 3rd place. Nice steady run out of him.
Pruitt's career was interrupted by a savage accident that he had in practice several years ago. Had to be cut out of the car. It was a question whether he would ever race again. He has not only come back, he won the Trans Am Championship last year. He's ultra competitive. Here we go. A move
Jeff
for
Gordon
the lead.
tries that surge.
Gordon has decided now is the time to take the lead, and he does it.
He does it exactly the way Earnhardt made that 1-car pass, isn't it, Benny? Same place and same timing.
But still, with 8 laps to go, there's a long way to the finish. Is that the test, Benny, or is that the move?
I don't know. I don't know what that was exactly. Ooh, almost some contact between Kinzer and Schrader. They've got Rudd, Schrader, and Kinzer.
Really got Rudd trapped up against the wall there for a moment.
Kinzer's just chugging along, though, with Steve Millen right behind him. There's Kinzer on the left of the screen in the orange car. And the road racer, Steve Millen, just outside of our screen, is right behind him.
And outside line once again becomes a dominant line. Puts those fellows on the inside to the back.
Benny, why wouldn't the shallow, lower down line, which would be shorter, work better?
Because you have to drive up out of the corners, and you just lose your momentum as you come from there, the middle of the corner, up off the corner. You lose momentum. If you ride around the top of the rim, you just simply do not lose any momentum.
Got it.
Gordon, Earnhardt, Pruitt, Martin, Kendall, and Rudd, right in that order. We'll be back for the checkered flag. All things are the same at Talladega. Jeff Gordon still has the lead. Earnhardt is still chasing, followed by Pruitt, Mark Martin, Tommy Kendall, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Schrader, Steve Kinzer, Hurley Halewood, and then Rusty Wallace.
And the signal, 5 laps to go. 5 laps. It's all that's left. The guys in the back, they need to get together and try to get to the front. Get on double line on the inside.
What I'm wondering is, did Gordon make that move too early?
I think there are going to be several sets of moves, quite possible, between now and the finish. 4.5 laps to go. Jeff Gordon out front.
Earnhardt, he's pushing those fellows like he has been pushed all day. That's Jeff Gordon, the blue car. The blue Dodge Avenger.
Earnhardt has shown in this run that he can duck to the inside, pick up the first position, and tuck right back in. He's got it within the car.
Whoa, here comes a run. Now Gordon does make a block, doesn't he? He moves down a little bit to discourage Earnhardt. Not here, Dale.
Now Earnhardt has to go by when the other fellows doesn't think he's going by, so that he doesn't take them with him.
None of the maneuvers by the first and second place cars are wasted on Scott Pruitt. He's got to decide, and it'll happen in a split second, who he goes with, what he's going to do about it.
About 3.5 laps to go now. Gordon still leads.
Because in many ways, Benny, don't you think Pruitt is a good candidate for second place, certainly in the race, depending on what he does with the 2 guys ahead of him?
Pruitt probably is sitting in the best place, because if Earnhardt does go, he could go with Earnhardt and then pass Earnhardt. So Scott Pruitt may be in the best spot of all, or Mark Martin. But Earnhardt's going to wait. This guy is a master at these big racetracks. He's going to wait, and when it's advantage Earnhardt, that's when he's going.
If Pruitt is thinking points, he would rather go with Jeff Gordon and demote Earnhardt, because Earnhardt is his closest rival in the point situation. I don't know if you think all that far ahead.
Looks like Earnhardt might be backing up for a run. He's backing up.
Onto the backside, just trying to find room to get a little roll forward. Earnhardt, who has already clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps here. And no.
Boy, he backed up, Benny, and then he sucked right back up on top, didn't he?
I think that's what he was trying to do, was back up a little bit and see how fast he could suck up on Jeff Gordon's car, how long it took him, how much of the straightaway that it took to get there. Once again, he backed up a little bit. Maybe this is the move. No, I heard him back off the throttle.
Yep. He's setting for one of those last lap maneuvers. 2 to go now.
Both the leaders know that they can just dodge by the guy in front with that little move down tight, assuming they don't get blocked. Now, of course, they may very well get blocked on the last lap. Pruitt's then got to decide which way he's going to go, which driver he's going to follow. This is the best performance by a road racer. We thought it might happen here, and it is happening. Pruitt's having a great day.
We've been green all the way. About a lap and a half to go. Gordon's still in front. It's coming up to move time. Gordon moves everywhere, trying to make sure that he can protect against the attack of Earnhardt. Just ahead beyond the tri-oval, the white flag. Waits indicating one more lap to go. Decision time for everybody. And look at them, they're all together.
Hold your breath and look at that crowd. They are loving this race.
Earnhardt looks to the inside and won.
Now Earnhardt, is he going to back up, try to get a run? It looks like he is backing up just a tick to get a run coming down the back straightaway.
Mark Martin looks to the inside of Pruitt. Wants to see what Earnhardt's doing.
Gordon
Here
went
comes
to the inside to block, and Earnhardt went on the outside. Now Pruitt to the inside, 3 abreast.
Not to follow. Pruitt, I thought, was going to stick with Gordon and follow him, but now he's bidding for the lead on his own.
Pruitt by himself gets up very close to Earnhardt. Earnhardt close to the wall. The final corner.
Gordon fast on the low line.
And here on the inside is Jeff Gordon. They're 4 abreast coming down the line, and it looks like, who is it?
Earnhardt surging ahead.
And Earnhardt just may take it. Earnhardt just barely nips it at the line.
How can you say that?
Unbelievable.
Man, oh man.
An unbelievable gentleman, Steve Kinser, you see in the orange car right through Earnhardt's windshield there. Looks like he finished second.
He did finish second. And I'll tell you what, another couple inches and he won the thing.
That is prodigious. What a performance from Steve Kinser.
Oh, whatever you said, I agree with, Sam. Man.
So round 3 is run. Steve Kinser with a brilliant drive. Dale Earnhardt the winner here in round 3 of the International Race of Champions, and he takes the points lead.
What happened to a monitor?
We're leaving the booth.
What happened to a monitor?
Okay, now.
Bill, did you unplug our monitor?
Something happened.